What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel for another FM22 video. Today we are asking the question, how realistic is Football Manager? Now, compared to other games out there of a similar type, I'm kind of mainly talking FIFA Career Mode here. FIFA Career Mode and Football Manager are poles apart. For me, FM is by far and away the best thing you can get. However, today we are talking about things to enhance that experience even more, make things a little bit more realistic. I'm going to touch on some of them today, but this video could not be possible without the fantastic work from Dave Inchid. I will leave links to his YouTube, his Twitter, and his Patreon down in the description, because some of the modifications that he's done for some editor files that I'm going to show you today are just unbelievable. The amount of work, the amount of detail, the amount of effort that goes into it. Please do stick around and watch this video, guys, and then once we're done, head over, drop him a follow on Twitter, drop him a sub on YouTube, because these editor files are completely next level. So without any further ado, let's jump into it. So guys, we are talking about Dave Inchid's December realism update, and this guy is relentless. Not only has he released a December update, there is also a January update in alpha as well, which you can have access to if you sign up to his Patreon. As I said, all links for him will be down in the description. And I know the questions you're going to be asking, Steve, am I going to need to start a new save to have these implemented? Yes is the first answer to that one. Yes, you will need to start a new save to have these changes implemented. They are editor data files, much the same as I've done with custom databases and stuff like that. And the real name fix, it works with that as well. So if you guys have done that and you know how to enable the real name fix, these editor files are exactly the same. You just turn them on at the start of a new game, and believe me, you're going to want to turn them on at the start of the new game once I've shown you guys some of the features that are within this brilliant realism update. So the first thing I want to speak to you guys about is the alternative youth ratings editor data file. Now, this was a massive topic when FM22 came out, the new dynamic youth ratings and the fact that they can change each year going into a save in FM22. And that was one of the main reasons why my main save is rebuilding Red Star. We are aiming to take Serbian Giants Red Star back to the Champions League glory that they achieved in 1991. It was the year I was born, so I thought it was a very interesting save, especially with the announcement of this feature. However, the additional file here from Dave Inchid really takes things up to the next level, and basically what it does is it recalculates the youth ratings for all the players around the world. So guys, Dave Inchid was kind enough to send me a save 10 years into the future using all of his modifications, and here we are going to take a look and a deep dive in to some of these alternative youth ratings and some of the possibilities that they can throw up. So we are going to dive in and we are going to take a look at some of these players. As you can see here, Osvaldo Nuevo is a Mexican left midfielder, and he looks pretty good. Now obviously Mexico is kind of one of the countries you're kind of used to producing some of these big name talents. However, Torsten Schug is how I'm going to say this guy's name. A winger, right winger, playing at Barcelona from Liechtenstein. Now you don't necessarily see this all the time, so this is exactly the point that we are looking for with this one. If we scroll down through this database, I'm sure we will see some other ones as well. Obviously, I'm not going to touch in on all of them. Derek Karim, this guy is coming out of Ghana via Hearts for some specific reason, which is madness. I don't understand where that connection comes in, but as you can see, another Ghanaian. We've got a Romanian here, Silviu Matunucic. That's definitely wrong. Sorry, Romanians. But as you can see here, there are nations in here that you aren't used to seeing. There's an Israeli, there's a Bulgarian. These are the most expensive players in the game 10 years into the future. And these aren't necessarily nations that you see a lot of as well. There's a guy from Kazakhstan. There's another Romanian. As you can see, Romania could well be a problem in this particular simulation. You've got Irish, you've got a guy from Cape Verde, you've got a Bosnian, a Nigerian. You can see all of these guys that are from what I would call smaller nations, and that is ideally what this is focused around. It's to improve these smaller nations over the course of a long-term save. So whilst wonder kids and elite level talents can come from these smaller nations, it is still very realistic. It is possible, but it is a long shot. But just on a quick little scan here through this, you can already see there's a lot of difference compared to the sort of nations you would see on just a normal FM save. So let's move on to our second feature. So the second thing I want to speak to you guys about is the higher top end salaries and the financial implications that have been added into this modification. Now, Football Manager has a habit of what I would call capping out players. Even 10, 15, 20 years into the future, their salaries sort of stay at an even keel, so they don't really exceed a certain point. With this modification, that is no longer the case. As you can see on the screen, we have Erling Haaland here. He is a forward at PSG. I'm sure everybody knows who Erling Haaland is, but notice his wage. It's £725,000 a week. Yes, a week, but as you can see, this is the sort of direction that football is going. Wages are this sort of level. You've already seen players like Ronaldo and Messi on this sort of money already in real world football. God, that's a tongue twister. So it's only logical that this sort of salary would exist within Football Manager, and now thanks to this modification, it certainly can. Now you will see stuff in and around this increase, and it won't just be wages. You will see wages increase, you will see transfer values increase, but it's not only the outgoings for your club. You won't only just be paying more wages, you won't only just be paying more transfer fees. This money that you will be able to recoup in terms of sponsorships and other incomes that clubs generate will also be greater as well. It is seen as a like economic growth module, so that as the world progresses and as more money goes into football, as you would expect, it is a product of entertainment, it is reflected within the game as well. I think this is a fantastic feature. Whilst I don't personally agree with Erling Haaland being on £725,000 a week, that is sickening to me. It does seem like this is the way that football is unfortunately going. So being able to replicate that using this modification in Football Manager is a brilliant addition. Up next, we are talking about the updated transfer preferences and the more logical progression from a player's career. Now, do you guys remember Torsten Schug from earlier? I just want to bring up his career stats so you can kind of see his journey. Obviously, he is a player from Liechtenstein. He started his career in Zurich, so he started in Switzerland. He then ended up at Stuttgart, a team in South Germany which borders Switzerland, and then ultimately, because of showcasing his talents in a top 5 nation in Europe, ultimately warranted the transfer to Barcelona. But there are multiple cases of this within the save, and it's trying to show that logical progression, moving things forward. Let me try and find another one here. Let's go to the Israeli guy who now finds himself at Juventus. Tel Aviv, got bought by Juventus, loaned to Sassuolo, back at Juventus. We've also got some others as well. Let's take a look at this Bosnian here and go on to his career history. So he started off in Bosnia, has a small transfer to Slavia Prague in the Czech Republic, and then ultimately, I assume by playing in the Champions League or doing well in a European league, prompted Chelsea to pay some money for him. And there are so many instances of this moving down through this save. Let me try and find another one for you. Let's have a look at this Bosnian who now finds himself at Liverpool. His career stats goes from Bosnia-Herzegovina over to Greece and then over to Liverpool. There's no instant pickup of these elite level talents from these top level clubs. It is a much more logical progression, and ultimately is a progression that you would see a player take in real life. Let's have a look at this other guy who's now playing for Liverpool as well, centre forward. He's gone from Norway to Belgium to England. Again, you can see this logical progression going through each and every new gen here. I'm not going to click on all of them. I'm just going to do one more. I'm hoping that I can find someone very quickly from a different area of the world that is like, you know, one that we will talk about. Okay, Finnish. No, he's not Finnish. He's Finnish from the nationality. If you remember the Scottish phone-in radio clip talking about Anthony Niemi, that's what I'm talking about there. That's why you people subscribe, right? Because I chat absolute waffle. Anyway, he starts off in Finland, goes to neighbouring Sweden, prompting Bayern Leverkusen to make that transfer. 2.5 million for him. Then a few years later, ends up at Bayern. You can see that logical progression, step by step by step. Also, clubs will have transfer preferences in terms of their type of player that they want to sign, in terms of their nationalities. You will see certain nations and certain clubs from certain nations trying to go after certain players like they do in real life. One of the key examples of this would be Benfica, who sign a lot of Brazilian players because of that Portuguese link, but you will see this a lot more in terms of the players that they are trying to sign using this fantastic modification. So I've touched on a few key things from this realism update from Dewey, and I will say please go and check him out. As I said, I've only touched on a few things here, and there are thousands, and I literally mean thousands of changes. He's done a video on his December realism update pack, which I will leave linked in the description, and please do go over and drop this guy a subscription, because the amount of work that goes into this is unbelievable. The amount of changes in these editor files and the database is just mind-boggling to me. So please do go and check out that video, because he explains all of this infinitely better than I currently do. And I also want to say thank you to him having sent me this information and let me bring this to you, because I think ultimately, if you play Football Manager, you are looking for that realistic, authentic experience, and these modifications really do hammer that home. So that is where I'm going to leave things for today, guys. Please do go and check out Dewey. His links are in the description. If you have enjoyed this video and would like to use some of these modifications, drop a like on the video down below. Subscribe if you are new around here for daily FM22 content. And until next time, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you on another one very soon.